something I'm learning about sharing trauma with people, and or I ain't sharing trauma with people, but trying to deal with issues you may have, whether it be in your professional, interpersonal, married life, whatever it may be, is that you may have to deal with people coming to terms with or acknowledging the issues on their side. You may have to get used to them taking a little bit longer to kind of get to that point. I got an example. Sorry about that. I got an example. Um, I got look. I've had issues in my marriage. What they are is nobody's business. It's between my wife and I. But there's been an issue. Nothing marriage ending, but there's been one that I kept bringing up to her for a while, and it's something that really upset me. And obviously, you get upset. You get to level one or whatever. Just a little angry. And she says, "Okay, yeah, I'll try and deal with it." Okay, you come down a little bit. Maybe she's working on it, and then it pops up again. You talk about it again. You're up to level two. You're starting to get a little bit more agitated. As you go up and up. And every time she's like, "Okay, I'll work on it. Okay, I'll work on it. Okay, I'll work on it." And you get up to like level five, and you're 5 out of 10, and you're really mad, and you have a big blowout argument. And she tries to improve for a couple weeks, and you go down a bit, and it blows up again. So it just happens over and over again until you're not, about had it, like you can't take anymore. And finally, that person, you guys have your next blowout argument. You're like, if things don't change this time, I'm done. And before it gets to that point, she finally says, "Okay, I'm gonna try to make a change. I'm gonna actually make an attempt to do it." And she does it. She starts doing it, and just like before, you start getting less angry. You start coming down. She's doing things, and then when you've had that much stress and anxiety, and you've had that issue festering for so long, it's gonna bug you. So if it's bad enough to where it's something that's affecting your life, you may have a bad day. Um, and if you're going through that much trauma and stuff, it's not a problem having a bad day. I mean, if there are issues going on, you've been being strong for a while, you've been trying to get through it. And people can have bad days, okay? But you have a bad day, and keep in mind, you guys are trying to work on this problem still, but you're still up here at a 9 on the scale of the issue. She's acknowledging things finally, so for her, it's just a new issue, okay? She's at level 1, but you're up at 9 already. So you may have a bad day, and she's like, "Well, what? I thought we were making such progress. I'm here, I'm working on it, but you got to remember that you're still up here at 9. You're still really upset." So for them, my point is, this may be an issue you've had for a long time, regardless of what it is. Like I said, marriage, work, interpersonal, your friends, family, whatever it may be. It may be something like this, to where it's something that they finally do decide to make a change, and you got to remember that for them, it's something that's brand new, but for you, this is an issue that's been festering for a while. So they may act a lot slower than you're used to, or than you would like. Like like I said, you may be about to boil over, and you're thinking they're going to make changes quick, snap, 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 try to get things in order, but they're taking their time because for them it's a new issue, so they're not really rushing too much to get it done. So at that point, I mean, if you're anywhere in there and it's taking somebody a few times to kind of get what you're saying, okay, you got to have a little bit of grace as far as that goes. But if you're up there at an 8 and 9, I mean, if you're up there, uh, you really have to kind of make a decision as to whether or not it's going to be worth it. Like, I mean, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, or sorry, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That kind of thing. Like, if it's been going that long, you got to make a decision then, because yeah, it may seem like they're going to change. They always do. Are they going to, or do you chase bad money with good, or do you cut your losses and go? Like I said, that could be with anything in life. So I know I kind of ran in there, but it's something I'm trying to remember as I'm going through the issues I am with the people I am, that I need to have some grace. Try to be patient with people as they kind of catch up to what's going on. Like I said, for you, it may be something that's been going for a while, but for them, it's brand new. And again, I've decided to go ahead and try to have that grace, try to have that patience, but it's not easy. And that's what I'm saying to us right now. If you decide to go that route, it is not an easy route to take. Um, and like I said, this has been throughout all my relationships. In my family, I've got a couple issues that are thankfully hadn't gotten that crazy, but we're still pretty big. We were able to work through that at about the same speed. That was nice. But then there's another aspect to all that too. Um, and that's before you even let things get to the point where you're too angry about them. At what point do you just stop the situation before it even starts. Like if somebody you just met, for example, or it could be somebody you've known for a while, and they start doing some really stupid shit. Like it could be drugs, it could be some like alcohol, it could be something illegal, even something legal that you're not into, and they're trying to get you to do. It could be like you can oftentimes very quickly sever those relationships, and it's not a big deal. But I guess it's learning when to do that, when to avoid, I guess, making yourself vulnerable to that kind of thing. Because if you make yourself vulnerable to that, you get in someone's life or let them in your life, and yeah, you always run that risk of having to deal with issues that pop up. And again, it seems pretty obvious, and it is, but it's something you kind of think about when you're trying to deal with reconciling on something that has been ongoing, and it feels like as a person who was, I guess, wronged in this case, I wouldn't even say wronged, but just on that side, as that person that it's going to take a while if you have any common sense in your head. I mean, you're not going to change a person or get better overnight, but it's going to take a while, and there's going to be a lot of work, so you expect some expedience on the other person's part, and again, for them, it may be a new thing. It's not high on their radar. They want to make the attempt, but they don't understand that this is something you're expecting them to work quickly on. You're expecting them to move and try to make improvements on very quickly, because there's a lot of steps in between there. And even if they are moving fast, it's still going to take time. So you expect them to move a little bit quicker, and on their portion, it's not something they're going to be as inclined to move fast for. And it's just human nature. And it's the same thing whenever we're dealing with somebody, when we're the person who has wronged. It's the same thing. We got to understand that you got to listen. Like if someone's saying this is something that's bugged them for a while, or there's an issue that's been going on for a while, they've been trying to bring it to your attention, they've been trying to get you to improve on, or they've been trying to get you to stop doing whatever to them. You got to remember, if this is something they've talked to you about a lot, one, you need to actually pay attention if someone's telling you something like that, and especially if you start noticing they're saying it over and over again, you got to stop and think, okay, they're telling me this thing, I need to actually pay attention, take their feelings into consideration, and go from there. You've also kind of got to realize in that situation, what level they may be at, as far as, how many times have they had to deal with this kind of thing, how many times have they had to do with you, breaking a promise or not listening to something or not improving, any of those things. So you got to be aware of that as both parties. That's pretty much both sides of any kind of disagreement. But yeah, that's all I've got as far as just, I say it was just random stuff. I just like to kind of babble on these vlogs. I had a bad day today. I mean, that's all there is to it. Was not good, and it's nothing anybody did. It's just a situation that's gone on long enough that it's bugged me for so long, and it is a significant situation, but it's gonna affect me more than other stuff. Like a small disagreement between me and a friend, not a big deal. It's not gonna fester, but something, big in your life, then yeah, it's in your marriage or something like that, or with your family or kids. Yeah, that's something that's gonna fester for a bit. So you can't help but think about it. But yeah, just sometimes I have bad days, and I try not to, but today just happened to be a bad day, and some people were surprised by how I acted. And it's something else that I was thinking about. Now I know how many people have the same situation, but whether you be an oldest child or something, or whether you be a husband or an older brother, or anybody that would have constant people to lean on them, and for comfort, or your family position, like I guess the head of the family, or just somebody that people go to in trying times. That rock in the family. Just being that rock for so many people for so long, and not dealing with my own issues was starting to cause issues. I'm always I'm always that person people go to be calm, or to go to when there's a hairy situation, or they're looking for just a shoulder to cry on. I've always been that person, and I've never been able to just kind of have bad days. I had to just, okay, I got to deal with it. I'm having a bad day, but yeah, put the smile on your face. I've always been that person who people could go to, and yeah, I've started having bad days. Even before I would have them, but like I said, I would just try to keep it to myself. But yeah, I had a bad day today, and I mean, I really had to think, like, I mean, people were gonna freak out, but I just had to let it happen. And I mean, a couple people definitely noticed that I was having one, and yeah, you can't ask me questions when I'm having a bad day, because I lose all my filters, as I found out. and I've about lost all of them right now. That's why I'm here rambling in the dark at my computer. But yeah, I had a bad day. Some people found out what that wasn't even really what it meant. Like I didn't really do anything. I just kind of kept to myself. I mean, it's not like I was like actively trying to be an ass or anything. But even just knowing or just sensing I was having a bad day, I guess I don't know. I guess it was pretty obvious. But it shocks people when you're that rock that they go to, or when you're just important in their life. It shocks them when you're that person who's always there for them and is always calm and collected. It can it messes with people and they're like, okay, now like that's when I notice people worry a lot. Is when that rock that they had to run to is no longer there. That's when they worry. Not when he's not freaking out. No one asks about you when you're when you're calm, when you're that rock. They don't care about the rock's feelings. They just want they just want to be supported by that rock. Nobody cares about the bench or the chair, how they feel. They just want somewhere to rest and when they need a resting place. And that's how I felt. And then nobody really notices or tries to understand or change anything until their rock is gone. Then that's when people ask, hey, how's the rock? Why's the rock being an asshole? Why is there a chair gone? Why don't we have that person we can talk to? So going through that and everything combined was bad enough that I had a bad day and I wasn't that rock for some people, and I also had to come to terms with being okay with that too. Um, you're not going to be okay 24/7. I mean, some of the hardest charging men I know. I mean, good father figures, good Marines, just good guys in general. Some of the hardest chargers I know. I mean, they've had bad days where they couldn't be they couldn't be that rock with people, and someone's got to be there for the rock, I guess. So, I guess who's there? Who's supposed to be there for the rock? And my rock hasn't necessarily been there the way I needed them to be. Yeah, no, that's another topic, but I guess patience is a lesson in all this. Just patience on both sides and awareness of other people's their feelings. Like actually listen when they talk. I mean, even if it's the rock talking, pay attention to what your rocks say and what your chairs say. Pay attention to that person who you lean on is saying. Listen to their hints because they might be going through some shit. And I mean, there's only so much a rock can take before it cracks. And if it's not there to catch your fall or there for you to lean on, then you'll be sorry. Then you'll be asking, well, why didn't I listen then, or why didn't I pay attention? So that's all I got for tonight, folks. Thank you all for coming by.